Greetings to all of you, wherever you're listening from. I am Commander Bimal Raj, a TEDx speaker, internationally certified trainer and coach, mindset mentor, and a teen and parents coach. In this podcast, The Awkward Talks, I bring you topics that are usually considered taboo or are not discussed freely but are some of the most pivotal things that we should be talking about.
Hello everyone, one of my favorite topics is parenting. So even though this is not a parenting podcast, I will keep talking about this topic in between because I think it's important. I know a lot of you may be thinking that parenting coaching is a new age fad. Our parents never needed parenting coaches and we turned out fine, right? Well, listen to the next line carefully and then decide. We are using 19th century parenting skills to bring up kids in the 20th century and we are trying to prepare them for the 21st century. If you understand the statement properly, you will understand the dichotomy in that. Unfortunately, the fact is that while we were their age, we never experienced what our kids are experiencing today. Whether it is constant internet, social media, likes, comments, selfies, suicides, depression, LGBTQAI, and a lot more. We just cannot truly connect with these experiences and the pressures and stresses associated with this new world. Trying to guide our children in this world is like a pure tea drinker trying to teach someone how to relish filter coffee. Some may be able to do it, but most would be pretty clueless because they don't have any experience of drinking coffee. Well, today I want to talk about a very important topic. It is said that the road to hell is paved with good intentions, and this topic falls right in this category. Listen carefully if you are or intend to become a parent. Do share with every parent you know. Here is the truth everyone needs to know. As parents, our job is not to make our children happy always. I will talk about child psychology, brain functions, cultural expectations in India, and also the very essence of what it means to nurture a well-rounded individual. The saying, "it takes a village to raise a child," becomes a normal statement in India because here parenting is not just a personal journey but a community affair. Why? From the moment a child is born, parents are bombarded with advice, often unsolicited, on how to keep their child happy and shielded from any form of discomfort or unhappiness. Added to that are the societal expectations which add another complex layer to it. Indian parents proudly share their child's accomplishments and wins. Many times, a child's achievements are seen as a reflection of parental effectiveness by the society. This often triggers relentless pursuit of academic excellence for their children. Things like micromanaging their studies and at times even all other aspects of their life. There is comparison with their friends and relatives of the same age and a whole lot of direct and indirect, intentional and unintentional pressure that gets put on the child. Interestingly, all these actions stem from a place of love. These are part of their constant endeavor to provide a life better than what they had. Unfortunately, overexpressed love does not always serve the intended purpose. Let us look at some pertinent questions. Is the measure of good parenting solely based on how happy our children are? Next, in our efforts to protect and provide comforts to our children, are we as parents hindering our children's ability to face life's challenges that are inevitable? And most importantly, are we preparing them for the real world where happiness is not a constant but a fleeting state in the midst of their growth, learning, and many times discomfort? My intention in this podcast is only to trigger your introspection and understanding. I just need you to question and challenge your beliefs and thought process. It just might help you reshape your approach to parenting in a way that truly benefits your children in the long run. So please keep an open mind and reflect on your own experiences. My intention here is to help you carve a path for your kids to make them not just happier but more resilient, independent, and emotionally intelligent. Let's get on with the topic now. The desire to see our children happy is innate. It's a universal thread that binds parents across cultures, religions, and economic statuses. It is also good to want our children happy. But when this desire transforms into an obsession, it can lead to unintended consequences. Child psychologists and developmental experts have long discovered through the years of research that happiness is just one of the many emotions that humans experience. It is transient, elusive, and by its very nature, not meant to be a permanent state. Humans, and especially children, should develop the ability to experience and navigate a range of emotions, including disappointment, sadness, and frustration. This is crucial for the development of resilience and emotional intelligence in them. When we as parents rush to smooth every bump in the road for our children, to shield them from every disappointment, what message are we sending? Are we not preparing them for a world that doesn't exist? A world where challenges, setbacks, and failures are absent? There is the concept of anti-fragility. This is a term coined by Nassim Nicholas Taleb, which suggests that human beings, especially children, benefit from shocks, stressors, and challenges. They don't just recover from difficulties, they grow stronger because of them. When we protect our children from the slightest discomfort, we are inadvertently stifling their growth, making them more fragile in the face of life's inevitable challenges. So, what does this mean to us as parents? It is not a call to abdicate our responsibilities or to be indifferent to our children's emotional needs. It's far from it. It's an invitation to reevaluate our understanding of happiness and its place in our children's lives. It's about recognizing that true happiness is not a constant state, but a byproduct of living a full and meaningful life. A life that includes overcoming obstacles, learning from failures, and growing through adversity. Let me now talk about the most prevalent family setup these days, the nuclear family setup. In this, the parents and the children form the core unit. Here, the direct influence of parents on their children's experiences and emotions is way more than in a joint family setup. The idea that good parenting equates to a child's perpetual happiness is a compelling narrative, especially in nuclear families. This narrative is reinforced by social media, peer conversations, and even our own aspirations for our children's lives. Many times, when both parents are working, the guilt of not being able to spend enough time with them adds another layer of pressure. These parents try to overcompensate for their absence by providing their kids with material things and catering to every wish they have. Now, in their eagerness to prove that they love their kids, they may end up shielding their children from every minor discomfort or disappointment. They become the sanctuary where every problem is solved, every challenge is mitigated, and every potential discomfort is preemptively removed. Now, the sanctuary is also inadvertently robbing them of the opportunity to learn these crucial life skills. What happens when a child steps out of this sanctuary? The world outside does not operate on the principle of individual happiness. It is unpredictable, often unfair, and filled with challenges that require resilience, problem-solving skills, and emotional intelligence for them to navigate it. Now, how do we as parents teach these to our children? Do we need to seek out or intentionally create discomfort for our children? We don't need to do that. We just need to allow natural challenges and disappointments that they face in their life to serve as teachable moments. We need to guide our children through these experiences, not with the aim of removing the obstacles, but helping and empowering them to overcome these obstacles on their own. They need to understand that while their parents are always there to support and love them, they are also capable of facing life's inevitable difficulties on their own. For example, let's consider discomfort and disappointment. These are not merely obstacles to be avoided, but essential elements of human experience. They teach valuable lessons in resilience, problem solving, and the ability to cope with unforeseen challenges. When we constantly intervene to prevent these experiences, we are sending a message that discomfort and disappointments are conditions to be feared rather than faced and overcome. The psychological impact of this can be profound. Children raised in overly protective environments often develop what is known as learned helplessness. It is a state where they believe they are incapable of handling challenges without external assistance. This belief can hinder their development of independence and self-efficacy, which are qualities essential for navigating the complexities of life. When children are not given the opportunity to try, fail, and try again, they may begin to doubt their abilities. Even when they achieve success, They would consider it as a product of their parents' involvement and not because of their own efforts. This can lead to a fragile sense of self-worth that is heavily dependent on external validation. There are parents who even choose their children's friends. They want to make sure that they are well networked and friends with the right kids to ensure their well-being and happiness. In reality, developing interpersonal relationships is a skill. Moreover, there are complexities involved and it requires a certain level of emotional intelligence. They need to understand and manage their emotions and also have the ability to empathize with others. When they are robbed of these, they grow up without the ability to navigate social nuances. This can lead to an inability to form meaningful social connections, which can lead to feelings of isolation. Now let's talk about some scientific research and psychological theory. I will talk specifically about resilience and why it is the cornerstone of healthy child development. The American Psychological Association defines resilience as the process of adapting well in the face of adversity, trauma, tragedy, threats, or significant sources of stress. It's about bouncing back from difficult experiences and crucially learning from them. Research in developmental psychology highlights the importance of resilience as a dynamic process rather than a fixed trait. Studies show that children who are exposed to manageable challenges under supportive conditions develop stronger coping mechanisms. Resilience is also intricately linked to the emotions a child experiences. Dr. John Gottman's research on emotional intelligence reveals that children who are able to understand and manage their emotions are better equipped to face challenges. They possess what Gottman calls emotional intelligence. Now, how does one learn to understand and regulate emotions? The skill can be developed only through encountering a variety of situations, including those that evoke sadness, frustration, and disappointment. Dr. Susan David, in her work on emotional agility, argues that it is vital for individuals, including children, to move through emotions with curiosity and openness rather than suppression and avoidance. Now, before I get into what we can do as parents to help our children develop resilience, it is critical to know an important aspect of their brain. Our brain has many parts, but I will talk primarily about two parts. The first is called amygdala, and this is called the seat of emotions. All the raw emotions like fear, disgust, anxiety, anger, pleasure, etc. originate from here. Even an infant has a fairly developed amygdala. The second part of the brain that I want to mention is called the prefrontal cortex. This is called the seat of civilization. Why is it called that? Because this is what helps us regulate the raw emotions and make us civil. So even when you want to slap a person, we mostly don't do it thanks to our prefrontal cortex. What is important for you to understand as parents is that the latest MRI studies of the brain has established that the prefrontal cortex starts developing only around the age 12 and it gets fully matured only by age 19 or 20. This means that our children during this age are neurologically incapable of controlling their emotions. Now, how can we teach these emotionally challenged children resilience? This doesn't mean that we should throw our children into the deep end and expect them to swim. It's about providing them with age-appropriate challenges that stretch their abilities without overwhelming them. One of the best ways to do this is by modeling these behaviors ourselves. They are constantly learning by watching us. If they see us calmly discussing our problems, taking deep breaths when we are upset, or even stepping away from a stressful situation to cool down, they are likely to mimic these actions. Besides that, as parents, we need to provide a supportive and understanding environment where we can help them develop resilience. We can do this by helping them navigate through their emotions without dismissing it or even try to take the feeling away from them. This is like building muscles. The more it's used and trained, the stronger it gets. And just like muscles, developing this emotional muscle also requires practice and patience. Some of the other things you could practice with your child are: first, encourage problem solving. Instead of immediately stepping in to solve every problem for your child, encourage them to think of solutions. Ask questions like, what do you think could work? This promotes critical thinking and resilience. Next, foster independence. Allow children to do tasks on their own appropriate to their age. This could range from dressing themselves to managing their homework. Next, teach emotional regulation. Help children understand and label their emotions. Younger kids don't even understand the emotion they are feeling. Giving a name to their feeling itself calms them down. Teach them healthy ways to express feelings and manage stress, like deep breathing, taking a break, or discussing what bothers them. Next, set realistic expectations. Teach children that not every effort will result in success, and that's okay. Help them set realistic goals and understand the value of effort and perseverance over perfection. Next, celebrate efforts, not just results. Appreciate the effort and hard work your child puts into activities, not just the outcomes. This reinforces the idea that resilience and trying are more important, and it's not just about success. Next, expose them to challenges. Encourage your child to try new things that might be slightly outside their comfort zone. This could be a new sport, hobby, sending them to camps, etc. Learning to overcome their difficulties on their own can be a great way to build resilience. Next, normalize failure. Now, this is very important. Treat and discuss failure as a normal part of learning and growing. If they fail in their attempt, ask them what they learned from it once their emotions are settled. Talk about the times when you failed and how it made you feel, how you tried again, etc. This can help children see failures as a stepping stone, not a roadblock. As I conclude this episode, I want to leave you with a thought, a reflection that hopefully should linger in your hearts and minds long after this podcast. Our journey as parents is profound and impactful. It's a journey not just of love and care, but of immense responsibility. As parents, our primary responsibility is not to engineer a perpetually happy childhood. Instead, let's focus on preparing our children for the real world. Let us teach them to embrace the full spectrum of human emotions and experiences, including those that teach resilience, empathy, and the courage to face life's challenges. You have within you the power to mold, to influence, and to inspire. You are the architects of the next generation, builders of human spirits. Let's not shy away from the challenges, the difficult conversations, and the opportunities for growth. Embrace them, because it is through these that we teach our children the true essence of life. Remember, the greatest legacy that we can leave for our children is not just our accomplishments or successes, but the lessons we have taught them about overcoming adversity, about kindness, and about the indomitable strength of the human spirit. So let's journey together with love, with support, and with the courage to introduce them to the necessary challenges that will help them grow, flourish, and ultimately soar. If you liked our podcast, please don't forget to rate it. Do click the follow button so that you don't miss any of our episodes. Do share this with parents you know. This might give them a fresh perspective. This is Commander Bimal Raj, and I will be back with another episode very soon.